Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the FearFans podcast. I'm your host, Don Elmy, and here with me is my co-host, Nick Muley. And joining us just now is Jill Jade. Hey, Jill, just
Hi.
in time.
Hey, Joe.
Hey. So, hold on. Let me correct something on the Facebook. Hang on. They always seem to privatize when I air this on Facebook. Hang on.
It happens a lot on StreamYard. That's typical, Don.
Okay, here. Okay, now it's public.
Hey, got
Okay,
a new viewer here. What's up, April? Good to see you. Welcome.
Hey, April. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us. So, I was about to say, I was about to ask what that noise was.
What's up, Jeremy?
Hey, Jeremy. Good to see you.
Going on,
Oh,
DJ?
nice. Hey, DJ MC.
What was that you got there?
Yep.
It was just like an awkward silent mo. Like, what the hell?
Did you guys ask me something?
Yeah, I was
Yes.
just asking, what was that you had?
Oh, I'm trying to set up my little light thingy.
Oh, that's
one of those
I
ring
told you
lights.
I have one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, because it just makes things better.
Gotcha. Yeah, me, I got two studio lights here, so but what you have is probably more powerful than this. So
Oh,
This is what I got right here.
you got
got
a ring
light.
light too.
yeah. I want the one
Sweet.
with the color, the RGB
knows?
one, but
Yeah, nice seeing you here too, April. Yeah, Jeremy told me about this last night.
I'm pretty sure that human ears don't stretch that much. Yeah, we pointed that out on the podcast. Unless he's somehow related to Mr. Fantastic from Fantastic Four, I don't know how that's possible. Anyway,
he was telling me that last night in the messenger that it's not possible for a human ear to just like stretch out like that.
Nope. Anyway, so tonight we have got a great show for you all tonight. We are covering a show that we enjoy talking about on the podcast. Every week we always bring this up. It's always, have you guys seen the newest episode of The Last of Us? So that's what we're finally covering. We're covering the hit HBO show The Last of Us. So this show is based on the popular and critically successful video game created by Naughty Dog back in 2013. It's been first originally released on the PlayStation 3, and that company Naughty Dog is responsible for some of the biggest video game franchises I played in my childhood, such as Crash Bandicoot, Jak and Daxter, and Uncharted. So, yeah, these guys, Naughty Dog has always been a name I can trust.
Has your mother never pulled your ear, Jeremy?
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, Jeremy, since you don't believe in it so much, maybe we should go over there and try it on you, see if your ear stretches like that guy's did.
Well, something tells me after what Joanne just asked, something's already telling me that. Are you an expert on ear pulling, Joanne?
Yeah, now I'm concerned.
That makes me wonder now.
I was telling my son the other day that my mom, she would just put the fear in you. So like if you were acting up out like in public, she's still trying to keep a good face. So she would just whisper in your ear and like, you think it's sweet, but it's like, if you don't stop what you're doing, you wait till you get home and you'll see what happens. Or I'll tell your father when you get home, you're like, okay. And you just snap, like you behave. And it's just like a whisper in your ear, but it's like, oh my God, I better calm down.
And also, Joanne, that comment you were saying about Naughty Dog, no, that's called Naughty Dog.
Yeah, I don't even know what that means. I don't even know if I want to know.
You don't want it. It's inappropriate.
Like naughty by nature type of naughty.
No, that's not what she's referring to. Okay, that's inappropriate. Anyway.
Yeah.
No, I know, but how do you spell naughty? Is it the spelling?
Yeah, exactly.
Is it N-A or N-K-N?
She put it as
K-O-N. Like as in like naughty kids? As in bad, like naughty kids, yes.
Yeah, okay, so the spelling's right.
No, her spelling is wrong.
Oh, I know. I meant the band. I was like Naughty by Nature, like N-A-U-G-H-T-Y. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure how to spell it.
Swiftly moving on.
just quickly what Jeremy hears now wouldn't be a good time. One ear has a hearing aid in it. The ear is right next to the incision made from last week, which was also the same place September's incision was made to. So there you go, Don. There's the answer to your question.
Okay. Well, we'll give you a pass this time, Jeremy. So this game was created by, let's see, what was their name? Bruce Straley and Neil Druckmann, and they were inspired to create The Last of Us after seeing, not only because of their experience with zombie movies, but also because they actually saw this documentary called this nature documentary, Planet Earth, by that BBC documentary.
So hugely. Wasn't on the Discovery Channel? I mean, I know it was made on the BBC, but didn't that also air on the Discovery Channel?
I believe so. Yeah, that was way back. That was back in like 2006 or so.
I think it was. What's up,
yeah.
Sarah?
Hello, Sarah. So the what caught their attention from that documentary was this segment where they have where that covered a type of fungus called cordyceps, which affects insect life, namely ants, in I think South America and these humid climates. And what the cordyceps fungus, it's not a virus. Cordyceps fungus affects the brain activity and controls the insect to like move to more warmer climates, and then the fungus grows out of their bodies and then spreads the spores to other insects to repeat the process. And this and in real life, I got that message. Yes, okay. I got that message. Thanks, Jeremy. And so cordyceps is not harmful to humans in real life. There's actually been uses of it medically. I've actually read years ago there were some cases where it was used as an aphrodisiac.
A what?
Aphrodisiac.
I've heard of that. What exactly is that?
Like snails, mussels.
Oh, okay. You out of here already, Joanne? You just got here.
Oh, you're leaving now?
Yeah.
Okay. Quick visit. Well, anyway, regardless, have a good one.
Yeah, take care, Joanne. I'm sure we'll see you during the later part of this week.
Yeah.
Back.
I like that word.
That word?
What?
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what she means by that, but anyway. So, the documentary explains that the cordyceps primarily affects insect life, but it's strictly staying in like the humid climates, which is why it hasn't spread to like all the insects of the world. But The Last of Us explorers, they came up with this idea for The Last of Us. They're thinking, what if it didn't just stop with insects? What if a variant of cordyceps was able to infect humans? And
like a mutation or something like that.
Like
we got a new viewer here, Don. Ghost Rider.
Oh, Ghost Rider. Oh, he came all the way from Marvel Universe to visit us. Nice.
Oh, Sarah also brought up this. Cordyceps are also used in Chinese medicines.
Yeah, it does have medicinal properties. Yeah, in case you didn't know, Nick.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Anyway,
right, so
thanks for letting me know, Sarah. So just like as depicted with the bugs featured in that documentary with cordyceps, it was showing like the exact same thing happening to humans in The Last of Us. So showing like the fungal growths coming out of them. The exact same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Affecting their brain functions. Where this cordyceps variant is driven to do just one thing: spread. And as it spreads, the human population declines.
Just like any other virus or bacteria out there, it's always spreading.
Yeah, and Ghost Rider saying I'm on fire, including my phone. Oh man, phone companies are not going to be happy with that.
Well, he's Ghost Rider. He defines the rules with his phone.
Nice. And so, because what would be? Oh, here, Sarah makes a good point here. Adaptability through mutation. So
just like what I said.
So the cordyceps depicted in The Last of Us is a mutated variant that had gotten into certain certain food recipes or not recipes, ingredients such as like flour or yeast or sugar, things like that. And I believe originally in the video game, it originated from South America, like how it would in real life. But in the show, it originated like somewhere in Asia. I'm trying to remember which country it was.
I think it was
Jakarta, Indonesia.
I was going to say, I think it was Indonesia.
Oh, Indonesia. Oh, yeah. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and once it got into those ingredients spreading across the world, there was no way to stop it.
Right.
And yeah, and in the first episode of this, Joel and his daughter Sarah like narrowly avoided being infected with the cordyceps themselves because they wanted to make Sarah wanted to make a special breakfast in the beginning for Joel because it was his birthday, and Joel had forgotten to get pancake mix. And you know what's in pancake mix? Flour. And what was in the flour? Cordyceps. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And again, when Sarah visited the neighbors, when the neighbors were making cookies, and again, ingredients that were infected by cordyceps. So
Sarah makes another good point here. Historically, infected rye led to ergotism, which is a blame for the Salem witch trials. I never knew that.
Me neither.
That's something new.
And now we gotta really watch what we eat now because it could drive all of us crazy.
If I ever do a Nick Files for Salem witch trials, I'm going to have to do some research on that.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, like I said, we got to be careful what we eat now. Oh, here, he brings up a good point. Ghost Rider, the last episode, the 9th episode of this season, featured Ashley Johnson as Ellie's mom. Ashley Johnson was the voice of Ellie from the game.
Yep.
I like how the show featured voice actors who reprising a few like not reprising the roles, but one of them did. The actress who played Marlene from the game.
Marlene.
Yeah, played her in the show. And let's see, Joel's voice actor Troy Baker played. Let's see, I believe his name was James. In the 8th episode, yes. Yeah, Troy Baker. He's like one of the biggest voice actors in video games now. So
right, anything but the carbs.
They use the clickers from the game, the actual ones that make the voice, also on the show.
Very
really?
True. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and they did a really good job adapting, like making the clickers like look just like in the game. The clickers, the bloaters.
Yeah.
The
runners. And there's also there was one more. What was the other? There's runners, clickers, floaters. Damn, what was that fourth one called? There was like 4 different types.
Several different types, and there's even more of them in The Last of Us Part 2. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with that if they're adapting that into like the second season. And that does make me wonder.
Do if they infected the chocolate. Oh my god!
I guess I'd be a clicker.
I can't do that. I can't do it.
I've never heard you make that noise before, Don.
I try, but I can't do that. But that's
a tough noise to make.
It is.
It's not easy. And
hey,
Brad's in the house. What's up, Brad?
Brad.
They basically have to do the exact same thing I just did, only quicker. I can't do that.
Yeah, well, if you think about it too, sometimes when it comes to filmmaking, especially that kind of stuff, it may have also been sped up too. So in reality, it may have actually been a lot slower, like when they shot it, and they probably just they most likely could have just sped it up to make it sound like they were doing. And I just found out what the other one, it was the Stalkers. That's what it was.
Yeah. That they could have sped it up. That's very likely. Oh, here. I defy the rules on everything, including my PS5. Nice to see we got a fellow PS5 owner in the house.
Yeah, well, that's what I said. I know where he said that was because I said he defines the rules of the phone. And this is not really like Walking Dead. I mean, it does have a similar atmosphere and like plot line to it, but there's a lot of differences compared to what you see in The Walking Dead.
Oh, yeah. And
I like this way better, I think.
Yeah, I like this even better too. Never made it past PS3, Jeremy? Really?
Yeah, like for me, I did have like PlayStation 1 through 3, but then I skipped 4 because I was having issues with my PS3. I kept getting the yellow light of death, which is the indication of a hardware failure, where you're playing and then just out of nowhere shuts off. You try to turn it back on, yellow light. No, it doesn't work. The console doesn't work. I had fixed 3 times but the yellow light of death just kept on coming back, so I just said screw it and got rid of it.
What do you mean by 6-1, Brad? Are you talking about PS?
He's joking. He's joking.
Oh, okay. I get. Well, they probably will eventually make a PS6. You never know. I mean, they already made PS5, so they'll probably make a PS6.
There's no probably about it.
Yeah,
they definitely will. And yeah, like I don't think I mentioned how I got my. I mean, yeah, like I got my PS5 like way back, and I ordered it on Thanksgiving, this past Thanksgiving, because my cousins were telling me, "Hey Don, they got Sony's giving out PS5s online again. You should contact them and tell you want one." So went to their website, and they placed an order, and they said, "Okay, we'll get it to you. We can get this to you like around 1 week, so plenty of time before Christmas." I'm like, "Okay, here's my money. Make it happen."
PS6 is about 4 years away. If he remembers if I remember the last report I read. Wow.
Brad's saying there's a 6th, like how the clickers and the bloaters are.
That's what I think Brad was saying. Well, you know what? There is, because there's a website.
Oh my gosh, Brad.
What did Brad say?
I should have known.
The other ones you face. It's called the.
I should have known.
Of course. Of course.
Saw for that one.
As soon as I saw the EX, I knew immediately what that was.
I was like, there's a 6th
one. Man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
But no, what I was going to say, though, was, yeah. Me too, Sarah. No, what I was going to say was, going on this website, there are actually 2 additional stages, but neither of them they're in the game, but neither of them have appeared on the show. And there's Don, you may know something called the stage 5, the Rat King.
Oh, yeah, he's a bad one.
And then finally stage 6, which isn't really an actual like zombified state, but here's a question for you. What happens to most people after they've been infected with any type of virus or disease? What usually happens in the end?
They eventually die.
You got it. Stage 6 is death.
Mm-hmm.
If they manage to basically survive, if you will, for long periods of time, eventually they die from the infection.
True. Oh, here. Brett's saying, never played the game, but the show is amazing. Yes, no question. Both show and the game are amazing. And, which reminds me, Nick, they have just released, I think they've just released The Last of Us Part 1 on Steam, and now you can use your card for that.
That's what I was literally just about to say. Speaking of which, yes, the game had just been released. So when I get off after this, I'm going to get that gift card and I'm going to purchase The Last of Us on Steam. So I don't know if I'll be able to play it tonight, but maybe after when I do the show tomorrow, I'll start playing because I'm so excited for it.
So just to let you guys know, Nick's birthday was about a month ago, and the gift that I got him was a Steam card, like a $50 Steam card, because he's been saying that he's been wanting to play The Last of Us Part 1 for a while. So basically I'm just telling him, Nick, I got him a Steam card, so now he can play the game on me. It's on me.
Yeah, originally, I mean, it's as of right now, I mean, it's expensive as hell, and I mean, for those that want to know how much exactly, it's about a $60 game, because you said what, Don? There's so much you can do in this game, or there's that, of course, like the popularity of it, how big this game really is.
Oh yeah.
Especially now in response to the television show. And I thought to myself, well, if I ever do get the game, I would probably have to wait till one of the holiday sales comes out, because $60, that's like 2 or 3 prices, like a price for 2 or 3 games, literally. So yeah, Don was nice enough to give me a gift certificate, so now I don't have to wait for any of these holidays to purchase it. So I'm ready to go.
Yeah, there you go, man. Yeah, like I've recently beaten The Last of Us Part 2, and oh my god, it is insane.
Jeremy just coined them all: runners, stalkers, clickers, bloaters, shamblers, racking. I didn't see the shambler one.
Oh yeah, shambler ones. Yeah, I don't think those were on the show, but
they're not really zombies, Sarah. They're more of what do you call them? Mutants, basically, like fungus mutants.
Yeah, fungus mutated. Yeah,
they aren't really, because they didn't die.
It's a cordyceps brain infection.
Yeah, so they're not really considered undead. They're, I actually kind of thought of this, but the runners in particular, like the first stage of the infected, seeing the way how they look, especially without without the stems and the fungus growing on them, and especially with those red eyes that they have, it really reminded me kind of like the infected from the movie from 28 Days and 28 Weeks Later in a way, because they have a very similar look to them. They have the red eyes. They run. They're half dead, basically. I mean, I kind of wondered, did they get some inspiration from the 28 Days and Weeks Later movies?
Could be. I know that they partially it was inspired by Night of the Living Dead because the undead.
Yeah.
But yeah, but or like an outbreak. So the whole outbreak portion of that. But yeah, but largely, like I said, largely it was inspired by that segment from Planet Earth.
Right. It's like, to me, in my opinion, it's like 28 Days Later meets Planet Earth in a way, because like I said, the runners, and just like the infected in 28 Days Later, they run too.
Oh yeah. And 28 Days Later, that's something we got to cover down the road.
Yeah.
Oh, here.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to get to Brad's comment.
I was watching the Escape the Field last night, and his eyes turned red when they vaccinate or shot something in him, like a syringe of some sort, and it altered him to where he had more power, things like superhuman stuff. So it's a really strange sci-fi movie.
I think I know what you're talking about. There was
His
something
eyes
similar to that.
Yeah, real red.
There was.
I've been to the Phantom Wiki, Jeremy. I've seen a lot of interesting stuff. You've been there, right? You guys have been on that page too?
Well, occasionally I go on wikis, but some of them is not entirely accurate though, considering that anybody can edit it. So I don't consider it 100% trustworthy.
Yeah, it's true. Taking over the brain, like, what is that?
Remy
from Ratatouille.
Disney.
Okay, because I was gonna say I didn't.
Ratatouille is like where this rat who has like special cooking abilities, like goes to a chef's uses a chef's hair to control him to put certain ingredients and create these brilliant foods. Yeah. They featured, I know. It's that you haven't seen Ratatouille? That came out like ages ago.
Yeah, it's funny.
I've never seen it, but just the fact that that's involving controlling somebody through their hair and like mixing it up. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but that sounds a little disturbing. What do you think about it?
But it's great. Pixar made it. I can't go wrong with Pixar.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah. Oh, here. You don't make it to stage 6 when you're married. Oh man.
I don't even know what those other stages could be.
Stage 6 is death.
The Ghost Rider credit card.
Card.
Oh, is he referencing the Bat credit card from Batman and Robin? Oh.
I don't know, honestly.
Don't get me started on that movie.
Man, New Class After Death. Oh wait, see, I'm trying to go back because she said zombies first, and New Class After Death. I'm not sure if that's in...
Oh, hey, happy early birthday, Evan.
Happy early birthday.
Yeah.
Good thing I'm not. Oh, okay.
You're dead.
I think she meant like when do they turn into zombies is after death.
Oh, okay. No, they really don't. They I mean, I think at some point in the process they eventually die, but they're not like undead in that kind of fashion. They take it in a different direction, because I think the way how they made both the game and also the show, they didn't want to make it just like Walking Dead or another like George A. Romero type zombie film. They wanted to do something way different that hasn't been done before.
Well, the first 15 minutes of episode 1 explains pretty much the premise of the whole entire thing, with like how the illness or the fungus works and how it takes over and wants to keep it's like a parasite. So it wants to keep its victim alive the entire time because it eats off of you the entire time, but it has to robot you so that it can manipulate you and get you to do everything it wants you to do.
Well, it makes sense too. Like with the runners, like I read the different, like, I guess rule, like, description of how each stage is for a person who's infected, and the runner type stage, they say that you've noticed in both the game and the show when they're attacking people, you just hear them screaming like bloody murder, which kind of shows that even though they are infected, it's almost like at the same time they are very well aware of what they're doing, but they can't stop it. So that's why you hear a lot of the runners screaming like they're in trouble when it's actually them unable to control their minds and bodies anymore. It's essentially, another way I could describe this almost, I'm even surprised they never paid an homage to it, but it's very similar to like movies made by David Cronenberg, which he made a lot of the body type horror films in the 70s and 80s and early 90s. And he was basically showing, his concept of very much like in Last of Us is something that occurs within our own bodies, like your own body's betraying you and making you do things you would normally never do. So I'm surprised they never paid an homage. I'm surprised it's not considered an homage of David Cronenberg.
And parasitic, not symbiotic.
Yeah.
Where because this cordyceps, it's like taking control of people to, for one purpose, to spread the infection, whether it's through bites or by there are certain parts where infected are remaining stationary and the fungus just keeps expanding on the walls and such and releasing spores, and anybody who breathes in those spores also becomes infected. Yeah, that's I think I forgot to mention that the cordyceps in real life actually also is primarily like spread through spores, like grows out of an insect, releases spores, and continues the cycle.
Right.
Yeah.
The word for zombies is freakers.
Oh. Wow.
Even in real life, our bodies can betray. Yes, in a way, it definitely can, but not like what you see like in a lot of these movies or The Last of Us, though not saying it's unlikely, though.
Yeah.
Should have ripped off Children of the Corn. Corn! The infection had laid low. They could have survived longer.
The infection laid low. They could have survived longer. Yeah, because just like in 28 Days Later, like the infected can die eventually from starvation.
That's what I meant. Like, that's why I asked earlier what usually happens when most people are infected by a deadly type of virus. No matter how destructive those who are infected, eventually the body will die on its own. Because it can no longer.
It's supposed to be like there's no vaccine for it, so it's just kind of slowly takes over the world. So it's like in this show, or I'm not sure if the game's exactly the same, but there's a little bit of a twist with a character.
Yeah,
being special.
Yes, for the most part, it's the same. Like the character Ellie being special. That's still the same way. Oh, here. It's not just a video game adaptation. This show is a Game of Thrones reunion. Yes,
yeah.
I was gonna bring that up. Thank you, Billy.
So, it is. I loved Ellie.
So,
it's very quick.
Yes, thank you. Hey, Billy. Thank you for joining us.
Just very quick what Jeremy said. Oh, damn! I'm sorry. All right, heading out. Gotta go. All right, Jeremy. You have a good night. Definitely continue on your work. And by the way, I don't know where this came from, Jeremy, but don't encourage Brad that we're gonna try to give an 8-hour show. Don't encourage him.
I wish we would, but I wish. But yeah, like I wanted to mention, one of the best things about The Last of Us, about the show, was the casting. Like I really enjoyed like Pedro Pascal was perfect as Joel, and Bella Ramsey was just phenomenal as Ellie. And like Billy said, both of them have been in Game of Thrones. Pedro Pascal was, but Pedro Pascal was in just season 4 alone. Let's see, what did he play? He played that ill-fated character, Oberyn Martell. Yeah, I don't want to spoil the show for you, Nick, but it doesn't go down well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But and let's see, Bella Ramsey played Lady Mormont, who she was like 11 years old at the time.
She's so badass in that show.
She's like, so this was even years before she got involved with The Last of Us. So she was just practically a young kid.
She was.
I loved her character there.
Nice. Well, Well, you know what's even more amazing about this show? You know, like when you look at like Game of Thrones or Last of Us, in this case, Last of Us with Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey, is that I think it's just something I don't know what it is. There's something so fascinating about it, is that unlike what you see in the game, neither of these actors are even American actors to begin with, because Pedro Pascal's from Chile and Bella Ramsey's from the UK.
Yeah, both of them can nail American accents, and you know, and I always hate when some people do this. Like I saw like on I saw some trolls commenting. I'm pretty sure they got deleted by now on YouTube saying, "Oh, Pedro Pascal, how is he from Chile? He doesn't sound like he's from Chile. He doesn't have an accent." And I'm just thinking, you know, so what? It just said that his bio said that he was born in Chile. It doesn't mean that he grew up there. You know, I mean, you can grow up somewhere, like literally anywhere else, and get an accent from there.
I don't have my Filipino accent, but I was born in the Philippines, but I was raised here in California, and
There you go.
So yeah, I get that a lot too.
Well, and also too with a lot of these actors like from overseas, of course, they also learn how to do the American accent, which is especially very typical for a lot of actors from the UK. There's like a whole bunch of them that do that, right, Don?
Yeah, I mean, and I say to like those guys who kept you know, making comments like that, I'm just think, okay, even if his accent, like, why do you even care what kind of accent he has? Like,
And they're actors. They like there's like a ton of actors that I didn't even know were Australian, or you know, like you said, with English accents, because they portray their character with an American accent so well. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
If you look, I got two examples of two actors who are in fact British, but they portray as American characters, and obviously one of them we know all too well is Norman Reedus, of course, in The Walking Dead. He speaks with a Southern accent, so he's British. And then Freddie Highmore from Bates Motel and Now the Good Doctor, he's British.
Yep.
So it's
I remember first seeing him as Charlie in Charlie the Chocolate Factory. You know, the Tim Burton adaptation with Johnny Depp.
And he was still young, and he just didn't he just turn 32? 30, not without the two.
I was about to say he's got to be close to my age.
I think he's in his early 30s now. Yet I don't know how he does it. He still has that youthful appearance.
Yeah. Yes, there are certain individuals like me and him. Yeah, like everybody says I look young, like I'm in my early 20s, but yeah, we have secret access to the fountain of youth.
Pedro Pascal's in Kingsman 2?
Yeah.
Because I love the Kingsman movies. How did I miss that?
Well, Pedro Pascal has been doing all kinds of work lately. Like he played let's see, what was his name? Javier in Narcos, that Netflix series, and also probably one of his other big shows that he's still continuing to do is The Mandalorian, the Star Wars show on Disney Plus. Yep.
I just looked it up. I remember. Okay, you know what? No, I remember who he is, but I didn't know who Pedro Pascal was at that time.
Yeah, he's the Mandalorian.
Wow. I think Sarah said so. Yeah, seems like Pedro Pascal is everywhere now. He seems to be. Let's not forget, most importantly, and this also has a connection to Last of Us 2, is when he also appeared on SNL. It's an SNL parody of Last of Us.
That was so funny.
Oh, yeah.
It's me, Mario.
Yeah. I'm just like, I just want to tell him, no, Pedro Pascal, you don't say it like that. It's like this. It's a me, Mario. Let's go.
Oh,
You, Larry.
You, Larry. Oh, yeah. Oh, here. There was another comment I wanted to bring up here.
It was Dr. House.
I got that wrong. I was thinking of
you're thinking of Andrew Lincoln, who plays
Lincoln. I don't know.
Rick.
I don't know what. See, it's been so long since I've seen the show. I've kind of forgotten everybody's names. Yes, it's Andrew. I'm thinking of not Norman Reedus.
Yeah, who plays Rick Grimes? Yeah, he plays Rick Grimes.
Yeah, he was the one who was Rick Grimes. Andrew Lincoln. That's the one who's British.
Yep. Mario Kart Skip was the best. Yeah, I would have done yes, it was. I would have done a reaction video to that, Billy, but I'm afraid it was going to get blocked because they always keep blocking my SNL reaction videos. So, you know, and I'm sick of them doing that.
That's the thing. It's like, I wish so much that if it wasn't for copyright issues, I'd say we should just show the clip right here, but we can't.
No, we can't.
I really wish we could, though.
Yeah, but let's see. And it's better than the upcoming Mario movie with Chris Pratt. Well, I will say this. Yeah, you're sure. Like they haven't done a great job adapting Nintendo stuff to film, but I'm willing to give just this a chance because there's sometimes it could be surprisingly good. I mean, I did like Detective Pikachu. I thought that was a good one.
Mhm.
Yeah, but Mario doesn't have that Italian accent in that movie, from what I've heard.
Yeah, even though they have Charles Martinet playing a cameo in it, I'm just thinking, okay, if you're gonna have Charles Martinet, why not have him play Mario? I mean, he is Mario.
Yeah. Anything with Pedro is better.
Anything with Pedro Pascal is better. Yep, that's
Yeah.
what. Yeah, same goes for Jason Momoa. You know, like he basically, because everybody kept saying, "Oh, they can't have a good Aquaman movie." Actually, there's a solution to that. If you want to make a good Aquaman cool, have him played by Jason Momoa. He always makes everything better.
What's this got to do with me eating more fish? I already have eaten fish before. What the hell's that got to do with anything?
Why haven't they made Legend of Zelda, the Zelda movies? Good question. I would love to see them attempt that. They actually made. I mean, they did adapt it into a cartoon, but yeah, that's something else entirely. The movie looks good, and the animation is really good, but the casting is a mixed bag. Huh. Well, we'll just have to see how they do when the movie comes out. Look at the meme with Nick Cage from the movie.
I think I know which meme he's talking about. You don't say.
Yeah. Don, Jen, and Nick, don't hate me. I really love the '90s Mario movie. Oh, okay. Well, you're free to like you. I mean, you're free to like it. I mean, I for one am not the most favorable towards it, but yeah.
This is just my response to this, Billy.
I don't hate it.
Yeah. I don't know.
It was not a great movie.
I mean, here's the thing: The Last of Us. I mean, in this instance, The Last of Us surprised the world because of how just they stayed true to the game and also just made it absolutely phenomenal. Well, with the acting, with the way it was shot, the scenes, you know, it was just they really went above and beyond all out with this, and also the changes that they made are also like could in some ways be an improvement over the game. You know, like let's see, what are some changes? Oh yeah, one of the changes is how Tess, how she gave her life to how so that Joel and Ellie could escape. It was different from the game. I don't want to say how, Nick, because I don't want to ruin that for you. But yeah, like a lot of her started being cornered by the cordyceps, so because after she had already been bitten, so she knew she was going to die anyway. So she like bought them some time, like have the cordyceps infected, like focus on her, and then try to get that like to create that explosion, and she did in the end.
Sorry, I was just reading. I just got an update. Speaking of Last of Us, but you've gotten up. Have you got any new updates about what season 2 is going to be like, Don?
Not really, but
season 2 of the show.
Yeah,
season 2 of the show. Yeah, I'm wondering
I think their timeline's going to jump ahead. So they said they're going to stick with Bella to continuously play or Ellie because they really loved her as the character and they don't want to switch her up. So it's going to jump forward a lot.
Oh yeah, yes.
There's been different internet articles lately. I mean, there are some sites that are saying that Bella is going to still continue onwards. Others are saying she's not. Or on some websites, they're all saying, well, she might appear in flashbacks, like not to fully get rid of her. But I think it's just all speculation. We really don't know. I got a real good feeling Bella Ramsey's going to be in season. I mean, at the very least, even if she's not fully going to be on the entire show, at least I would say, you know, let's say even if it was the first 2-3 seasons of her, that's fine. Yeah. At least we would have her for a little while.
Oh yeah, and I just love the way Bella Ramsey played Ellie, because I don't care what anybody says. Like, people were kept saying, "Oh, she doesn't look the way she does in the game." Well, that's the thing. That was intentional. They wanted the actress to look different from the game because there was the actress Elliot Page who was like talking about how, oh, Ellie looks exactly like how he is.
Yeah, that was their intention of trying to make it different, and that's typical of such. either video game adaptations, they're always going to make something different compared to the game, because they don't want to make it just like literally a reenactment of what you see in the game. So I can understand why they want to do things differently. And very quickly, just to respond to what Brad said. Shut up, Brad.
Time to clear the air. Oh, here. Don, Jade, and Nick, what did you think of the movie that was based on another PlayStation game, Uncharted? I still want to see that. I noticed that it's been released on Netflix. I've had a list of things that I have yet to get caught up on. Uncharted,
Same.
I definitely want to see that because I really like Tom Holland. Great actor. Spider-Man. So seeing him as Nathan Drake should be interesting. So yeah, I'll check that out.
Every time I think of Tom Holland, I keep thinking of the other Tom Holland who directed Friday Night and Child's Play.
I know.
It's always so confusing hearing that name. Seriously. It says here too, I just looked this up. All this talk that we've had, like of how Ellie looks, Bella Ramsey portraying Ellie and how she looks different than in the game. Turns out she was actually, it turns out more than 100 different actors have been considered for Ellie, as the producers sought a performer who could portray a resourceful, quirky, and potentially violent character. After watching Ramsey's audition tape, they reached out Game of Thrones showrunners David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, if I'm saying that correctly, a series in which Ramsey had starred previously, who assured them of their talent. Ramsey secured the role less than a month after their audition and received news of their casting during production on a different project. So turns out she was aware of the game before their audition, but was encouraged not to play it to avoid replicating Ashley Johnson's original performance, instead watching some gameplay on YouTube to get a sense of it.
They wanted to make sure she got like the character's personality down. And I believe she did to a T. She really brought Ellie to life in the show.
She did phenomenally.
Yeah, they said as of filming the series, they still hadn't played the game. Ramsey wanted their performance to be reminiscent of the games without copying them. So she never played it at all during the time that they shot this. And I saw Brad just message me personally. I wanted to answer this question. Yes, Brad, I've watched the whole season. Each time an episode came on, I watched it immediately. So yes, I've watched the whole series.
Nice. Oh, and speaking of games, I loved how Ellie also like and they added this how Ellie also likes video games as well. Like she there was in episode 3 where she and Joel went into this gas station, and there was a arcade machine for Mortal Kombat 2, and she was saying, "Oh, I love playing as this character where she she creates a fatality and bites someone's head off." I'm thinking she's referring to Melina, that character.
Melina.
Yep.
Hey, Chantel.
Yeah, Why am I again? Hi, Chantel.
And in South Africa.
Oh, I see. Nice. And and speaking of Mortal Kombat, I should mention the creator Ed Boon. My dad went to high school with him.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
Loyola Academy.
Check that out.
I'm not sure if they ever really got met, but I do know that they went to that high school around the same time.
I got to bring this up. This is for Brad. Hey, Brad, looks like someone else is coming for you. It's not just Adrian anymore. You are seriously building an angry mob to come after you.
Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider's coming.
Now you got Ghost Rider coming after you. You better start getting back into witness protection soon, because that next thing you know, you see those fires start coming down the street. They get angry lynch mob. I have to get the hell out of here. Led by his ex-wife.
Oh, here. DJ Evans C is saying, ideas for the podcast. Prom nights, 1408. Oh, Dawn of the Dead, definitely. Yes, for sure. Let's see. Saw. Yep. Yeah, at one point we're going to start covering the Saw franchise. Not just yet. I still want to plan that down the road, but let's see. Oh, Tremors, great one. I don't know if Ghost Rider counts as a horror film. I mean, sure, it has supernatural aspects to it, but mostly it's like superhero
scenes, but it's more, I consider it more of a thriller than a horror film.
Well, demons.
Yeah, they are. That's what I'm saying. There are some scary scenes. I don't know if I'd fully consider horror. I consider it more of a thriller than horror film. Predator is another one.
Yeah, Predator's a great one. I'll accept that.
Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah, that's that Stephen King one.
I don't know if I've ever seen Maximum. I've seen most of these, but I don't know if I ever seen Maximum Overdrive.
Oh yeah, it's
Crazy Driver.
Maximum Overdrive. Yeah, it's where all the machines come to life from a supernatural force and attack humans. And what was his name? Emilio Estevez is in it. So
Okay.
yeah, a group of survivors. I guess so the last attempt at surviving the war on machines, being led by Charlie Sheen's brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have to watch it one of these days, Don, because I don't know if I've seen that one.
Oh, and also the music for it, all the music was done by AC/DC.
Yeah, all right. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Yes, we do have to cover the Tremors franchise.
Yes. And I should mention, Stephen King, he himself wanted AC/DC. He appointed them himself to the movie, for the music, because he's a big fan.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Fire Cycle and Chain. Brad, this is going to be brutal for you. You better. This is when you should start getting scared now.
Oh yeah, you got Ghost Rider. Oh my God.
Yeah, Ghost Rider, you are dark.
Van Helsing was not scary. Well, it still technically counts as horror because it focuses on Dracula, Frankenstein, werewolves. So I'm still counting it. Like I can. Let's see. Wonder what Emilio Estevez is doing nowadays. I wonder that myself. I haven't really seen much of him in anything lately.
Brad's got a question here. So, what do you think of the voice actor for Ellie playing Ellie's mom?
Oh,
Loved it.
That was amazing, and
that was awesome.
And just her face on there, I'm thinking like when I saw like her pregnant woman running from the cordyceps, and she had that look to her, and I'm like, that's Ellie's mom. That has to be her.
You I like it due to the fact that not only because she played Ellie in the original game, it's really kind of like that. I guess you can kind of say, I really don't know how else to describe it, but it's like passing it from one generation to another. Like here you have the original voice actor, for Ellie and playing the mother of Ellie and giving birth to who we see in the show. That's why I think it's so amazing. It's not, yes, it's nothing. It's not like what you see, for example, like let's say, for example, oh my God, who am I thinking of? Oh, I lost it. It will come back to me eventually, but you guys get the idea.
Oh, I hear you. Yeah, and what else was there? Let's see. Oh, another difference on the show. In I think it was episode 5 where they run into Henry and Sam, the two brothers. Yeah, they're trying to hide from not only trying to get away from the cordyceps, but also from this rebel group that had taken down Fedra in their area. I'm trying to remember. It was Kansas City.
They were a separate group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they weren't Fireflies. It was like another insurrectionist group. It was in Kansas City. I remember now. Yeah, they were trying to avoid them and also their vengeful leader who wants to take them all down who really especially wants Henry dead. Yeah.
How do you feel about her playing the leader in that?
I don't know how to answer because I haven't played the game yet, so I can't really answer.
No, I mean the actress for the show on episode 5. How did you guys feel about her? I've been watching her on Yellow Jackets. I like her on Yellow Jackets, but I didn't know how I felt about her being the leader of this group.
Yeah.
I had mixed feelings because it's like she seems really soft, but then she's like really ferocious, her character. So maybe, I'm sure that's done on purpose to make it look like she looks feeble, but then all of a sudden she's got this revenge, retaliation character within her. And so I'm just conflicted on the actress playing this role because it's like I don't normally see her in that way.
And the actress too, don't forget, she's also another British actress.
Mm-hmm.
And she has that complex nature to her. So
kind of like as I would call like a Jekyll and Hyde sides. Like one point she could just be she could just be like a simple person to talk
Mhm.
to.
Oh,
You know,
Yeah,
whether
or
she's in a good
trusting.
mood, or trusting whether or not she's in a
Mhm.
good mood or a bad mood. And then the next thing you know, she's like a complete monster.
Yeah, like she just comes in and just shoots the guy, straight on, like no
Right.
mercy whatsoever.
Yeah,
So,
I always call those things a Jekyll and Hyde kind of
yeah,
character, because that's exactly who they are.
yeah.
And
I'm invincible to bullets. Oh, you're in trouble
Brad,
now, Brad.
you are in big, serious trouble. I'm sorry, I had to do that for him too.
Yeah. Condolences.
And if you know what? No, you know what? I'm not even gonna say it because I know that will just get Brad's interest immediately. It's never mind.
Well,
Forget what I was gonna say.
I think it's on episode 6, the following one. How did you guys feel about when the actress gets attacked by the child cordyceps?
Okay, I have to admit that was actually really cool for the child, like that child infected,
Mhm.
just beating her up. Like, okay, that
Yeah.
was actually kind of badass. I
That was
like that.
crazy.
That was awesome.
Like, does it feel like, how she was going after the two brothers, the children? It's like she has no mercy at this point because she just wants her revenge for her brother's death. So it's like it comes in full circle that a child ends her character because, she was going after children or anyone that was in, like in her revenge mode.
Yeah, like
go on, Don, go on.
Yeah, like she was out to get like even willing to kill people who had nothing to do with her brother's dying, So
even if it's a child, like it's a child, she's going after the little brother even.
Well, and also it goes to show that the infected that you see, it's not even just I mean, it's actually kind of, as crazy as it's gonna sound, it's actually kind of nice that they're including like both infected adults and kids in this, because if you just included infected who were just adults, like if it was just the adults that were infected, it wouldn't really make a lot of sense. So showing an infected child going and just beating the hell out of her, that goes to show they are just as dangerous as the full-grown infected.
Not only that, it's like this virus, and it shows that this virus will not just affect adults, but just anyone. It shows that no one is safe.
Mm-hmm.
I think the kids are probably more dangerous because, like I said, seeing how fast she went,
I
think she went faster than the adult infected. So that makes it even more dangerous.
I like the children, and I liked who they picked to play the girl that went after her because she's actually an acrobat. So that's why she was doing all those like weird maneuver, like like the crazy bending. Yeah. Like she's one of those acrobats that can do that. That's who they picked to. She like shifted herself. That's all herself. Like that's not CGI. That's all her.
And they didn't do they didn't speed up film or anything.
No, that's
actually
her
doing that.
Yeah, that's her actually doing it. Mm-hmm.
Man, that's crazy.
She's good. That's all I gotta say. She's good.
And then like one major change as far as Sam is, unlike the game, in the show, Sam is deaf. So like they added that. Yeah. I'm guessing they added that to add more like empathy towards the character, like to make him like seem more like a lot more innocent. Yeah.
And then his character, they picked that actor too because it fits like perfectly, and then they had to all learn how to do sign language with him. Yes. They didn't have to, but they wanted to so they could communicate with him.
Yes, exactly, because not only it's like not only can like a deaf individual play a deaf, who better to play a deaf character than a deaf individual. It's not just that, but also the deaf actor can also educate others on sign language and get them a share of just what that kind of culture is. I mean, they did this exact same approach in A Quiet Place with Millicent Simmons when she played Reagan.
I knew you were going to bring that up. Yeah, I don't know how they do it, but like for actors who are deaf, I got deaf in reality, and for them to play certain characters, that's quite amazing to see, because that I always thought to myself, it definitely has to take a lot of work for these actors, who are deaf to play these characters, but it just seems like in some way, I mean, yes, obviously you got those who know how to do sign language and that kind of thing, but the way how they portray their characters, it's quite incredible, even for those that can't hear.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I saw the interview of him later on. I mean, when I found out that he too was, I mean, let's be honest, that's unbelievable of such a role that he played in Last of Us.
Oh yeah, and also Sam's dead. The way they portrayed like Sam's and like the right before he died, like they were all the more sad toned because Ellie, unlike the game, Ellie noticed that Sam had been bitten, but Ellie wanted to give Sam hope, like and also
Save him.
try to use her blood to cure him because she thinks that because she is immune, maybe her blood has something to do with the cure. So took some of her blood and put it on Sam's bite, saying my blood is medicine to him. Then said, "Okay, I'm gonna stay awake, with you. Try to comfort him, encourage him." But then the next morning, he ended up being infected, attacked her. Henry had to shoot him, and then out of the remorse and like out of the pain of having to kill his own little brother, Henry took his own life.
It
and
was
then
like self-guilt.
Yes, and when they were after Joel and Ellie buried them, like Ellie took that pad that writing pad that Sam was using to communicate, and just wrote "I'm sorry" on there and put it on his grave. And I'm just thinking, man, that's like a powerful moment, like really added to Ellie's guilt. Just wow,
right?
Yeah, she really wanted to save him.
That was, I guess. It obviously tells us that it's not necessarily the blood that could save other people. It's that kind of thing that, yes, she tried saving him, but it was not necessarily her blood that was the cure. It was basically her own system, her own body that was only able to cure herself, nobody else. So it didn't matter.
Yeah. It's a special circumstance of how she was born, like because she's still in the placenta and all that stuff through her mother's bloodstream.
Which by strengthened, she had like a strengthened immune system, in other words.
Oh yeah, and because when Ellie right after when Ellie gave him that blood, I'm just thinking like that's not gonna be it. It's just, I have a good feeling it's just not gonna be that simple, and I was right.
I figured the same thing too, and I haven't even played the game yet, but I'm thinking I know what she's trying to do, but something's telling me this is not going to go well at all.
I think it's like when you think with a vampire, like when the vampire gives you his blood, then you start to heal and have vampirism in the vampire movies. So maybe she was thinking like similar, like if I just give him my blood, he'll transform.
Oh. Yeah, it could be.
Didn't matter though.
Oh yeah, and there was like this one episode that a lot of people tended to have an issue with. Like that was episode 3, where we show the characters Bill and Frank, like how they met with and like them surviving and then living together and being lovers, and a lot of people like. It just feels like people who have an issue with that. I'm just like, we've seen time and time again. Throughout movies, all throughout history, we've seen, in fictional work, heterosexual couples being happy in movies and shows, but it's like when don't you think it would be only fair to like in a major show have a homosexual couple? I mean, like
exactly. I don't see anything wrong with that.
I feel like the show does a good job with having inclusive groups. Throughout all the episodes, because that's why they're bringing in like the deaf child and the gay couple, mixed racial couples or children. They're just including everything and everyone, so that we can all like empathize with everything, no matter who we are, with what's going on with the world.
Yeah, and that's exactly a good point, because it's nice, especially for a change, to start seeing a lot, things being a lot more diverse. But, in spite of the episode you just brought up, while there were some people who didn't really enjoy, the homosexual theme to it, there was, from what I've heard, that episode got some like the best reviews. From what I've heard. It's also the longest episode of the series. It's like an hour and a half, 2 hours long, I think.
Actually, I think the first episode is the longest.
Okay, I thought it was
an hour,
episodes
almost an hour and a
total.
half.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like an hour and a half, but it's just sometimes nice to see something different for a change, like finally be accepted and put into a mainstream television show instead of everybody always viewing it as gay porn. It's just
Yeah,
nice to
well,
finally see something not looked at in that type of way. Just like what you said, Don.
yeah. I mean, for me, I have no problem with people who are of different orientation, different races, different religion, different gender identity. You know, it's like, hey, you guys are all free to be whoever you want. You know, I'm not going to judge you negatively for it.
Right.
Yeah. So, but there are some viewers out there who didn't think the same way and just they had an issue with episode 3. So, yeah, there's
I liked
always
it.
going to be people
I
who just think
enjoyed
the
it.
worst. Yeah. And yeah, they're and also the fact that they just took their lives like that in the end after I think it was Frank. Yeah, Frank, he had developed that illness that affected his motor skills. He had to be in a wheelchair. And then, when Joel and Ellie found that note, and like but uh,
Mhm.
and then Joel finds the bodies off screen. It's like it's like then I'm just glad that they didn't show the bodies because I feel like that's something that the show did not need to do. Like
I
It
just
probably
like how
would have
they
also.
show
Go ahead.
compassion a lot. Like they'll do a burial before they move on to their next destination, or like before they move on, even though there's a lot of chaos going on in the world, they're still having
Right.
compassion for like burial process, making time for them.
Mm-hmm. Oh
I
yeah.
think in some way, another reason they probably didn't want to show the bodies was not necessarily because it probably would have been graphic, even though the show itself is already graphic enough. But I think also by showing them, it would have probably made the scene a lot more sadder than it already was. So it was probably I guess it's just one of those things that it was probably best that we did not see how they looked after when Joel and Ellie came over to their house. Hey,
Yeah.
Lauren, good to see you.
Hey, Lauren. Thank you for tuning in. Yes. So, I mean, episode 3 of The Last of Us was a bad one.
No, it was
Okay. Well,
not.
hey, well, you're free to think whatever you want, Evan. But
Yeah,
I don't agree with that. But you're free to think that.
I don't agree with it either.
So, yeah, like that's one of the biggest things about The Last of Us. One of the main themes is just carrying on no matter what. Because Joel from the very start, like he had just lost everything that was everything that he cared about. Losing basically going through one of the most horrific tragedies anyone can go through, and that is the loss of his child. When losing Sarah to that Fedra agent, and then having to spend 20 years just living with that depression and like just becoming emotionally hardened afterwards, like becoming a smuggler. But all that changed when after meeting Ellie. Over time,
Mhm.
learned to like that she was worth fighting for. Like
Mhm.
at first it was because she was the hope of the future, but also after that becoming attached to her and just fully accepting her as his adoptive daughter. And the event that made him become accepting towards her is like after he was injured by David's group, with that baseball bat, broken baseball bat, and Ellie was on her own. And after he made a full recovery and discovered that Ellie had been taken by David and James, and then he ended up torturing James's scouts for like information. That was a crazy scene.
It was a
Like that
crazy
just
scene, but it was a crazy scene, but at the same time, it was actually an exciting scene because now we're finally seeing after when Joel was stabbed. Now he was officially basically back in business, and was now able to fight and try to and
yes,
knew that he had, especially after when Ellie was trying to get him, help him to recover and survive. He knew then not only did he need to return that favor, he knew he had a mission, and more important, Ellie basically becoming his adoptive daughter. He refused to wanting to lose another kid like that again after his daughter.
yeah, yes. Well, not a doctor. I think the more correct term is like surrogate daughter.
Surrogate daughter, yeah,
That's
that's even better.
yes, and then like, that scene showed that he was determined to protect Ellie no matter what. So he and like they really. I just love Joel's character development throughout this show. Like he was a completely different person in the end. He was like much more, much more caring, much more, optimistic. And then just driven to protect the one thing that he has grown attached to. And and then when Ellie, I gotta mention, like when Ellie discovered that David and his group were cannibals, like most of the group didn't even know it, but yeah, he'd been feeding humans to other humans basically. But then when Ellie decided she wasn't going to be part of David's group and was willing to fight her way out of it, then David wanted her dead, but then she fought back and like took that cleaver right at James, took him down, and then but when he finally cornered her, and what shocked me even more, because it wasn't like this in the game, when David said, like, made an implication that he was a pedophile, and I'm just thinking at that point I was just like, oh god, Ellie, take him down now, just get him, kill him now.
Even in the show when I saw him, I'm like, oh god, no, he's not. I'm like, oh no, is this what he really is? And I just thought to myself, he's got to go. Kill him.
Yep.
Kill him.
He's definitely the wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yeah,
for that episode.
And I think it even makes him even more evil in a way. Like when you brought up about how, yes, they're a group of cannibals, but only him and a few people, a few members know of what they're doing. But yeah, the rest of the group doesn't even know they're eating human remains.
Yeah. And then Ellie did this like so much more brutally in the show than she did in the game, when she then overpowered David, like hacks away at him with that cleaver no less than 22 times. Yes, I counted.
That was amazing.
The way she just cried out, like animalistically, like savagely, just crying out as hacking away at him. Like Bella Ramsey just really captured like Ellie's rage at that moment, and because Ellie is understandably enraged by what David's intentions were, so she just basically went savage on him.
That was just badass of how she went. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, when she just hacked him up, I was actually clapping. Like I was like, that had to been one of the best scenes on the entire show.
It's like she just took out everything that she had held in all her life, like everything she's been going through, the school she had to go through, like the military school thing, and just
Fedra school.
Yeah, like all the traumas in her life, she just took it out on him because he was just like the worst. He was like the most evil character throughout the whole season.
Oh, no doubt.
It was just like it's like she finally had enough. And that's when she just went animalistic. And yes, you do learn that while she is able to fight on her own, though, Don, I'll let you explain the rest of it. So, because I'd rather let you explain what happens afterwards.
Right after that is probably the most touching moment of the entire show, is where Ellie gets out of that burning building and then backs into none other than Joel. Finally found her, but then he discovers, he discovers that she's
right.
Yep. He discovers that she is like traumatized, and then she embraces him. He hugs her back and says, "It's okay, baby girl. I got you." And the moment he calls her baby girl, that just made me, I just realized, wow, he's fully embraced her as his surrogate daughter. That really is, Ellie is now his daughter.
That was such an emotional scene for me.
I'm actually getting a little watery-eyed right now, too.
But I already am.
It's amazing, too, that after that show had been released, whether if you guys didn't know this or not, literally within 24 hours after it was broadcasted, there were like hundreds of YouTube videos that were being posted of people's reactions, and there were like some people who literally broke down crying. It was like, whoa, this really affected people really greatly. Like, wow.
Like I'm holding back tears, literally. Like my lip is quivering because I just got in the moment with her and him and having that touching moment, and how, this whole entire time, he had missed his daughter and he turned into this savage that had to survive in this new world. And then he meets Ellie and it just gives him this new heart, like a new beat in his life, and just a new closeness again, where he can care about the future, care about the world, and just empathize again and just have feelings again. And just goes to show you, how much human nature, we always have that hope still throughout.
Oh, yes.
I wanted to get to this comment that Lauren said. As a young girl I used to work with used to come to me for help and advice. I helped her out in a big way mentally and emotionally. She now calls me her adopted mom. That's really sweet.
That's nice.
There is actually something I want to show you guys. It's just a picture. I'm actually going to add it in the overlays, and believe it or not, because since we're talking about this, actually from I think I showed you this, Don. This is actually from the game. It's just it's a very touching and emotional looking photograph, and I just love this picture. Check this out.
Oh, yeah, that's from the second game, because Ellie got that tattoo on her right arm, like right after.
Yeah, I know. I just really love this picture, and I just thought it was important to show that. That it's just like that really shows how emotionally attached they've become.
Yes. Oh, here, wait. If I was there, David and his group wouldn't be able to take me down. I just go all chaos.
He's the Ghost Rider. What do you expect?
Here. Hey, same here.
But yeah, that was that entire scene was just something that it was really one of those few scenes that I thought after watching it for the first time, I had to watch that whole scene again, because that was just a very powerful performance.
It was definitely the best episode of the entire show, because that was the episode where Joel fully became, this was like the completion of his transformation, from what he was in the beginning. And now where he finally realized that they both need each other to survive.
Right.
And I just even with the whole lodge going in flames, it just kind of just shows the cinematics of it all, just with the emotion, with everything that they've gone through, and then just sort of coming out of it. It's like a phoenix rising out of the ashes, just like the fire, the flames, it's everything's inflamed.
Another way I could describe that scene too is you watch Ellie the way she is when she kills David, and you think, you could tell that while she is able to take care and fight herself, obviously in a very brutal way, it's like she's like that type of character. But after she leaves the building burning, that's new. The burning building, it's like she's no longer that vicious character. You just see she's basically now like this scared little girl who just wanted to be embraced by somebody who cared about her. And that's what I think is so important. Again, what makes that scene between Joel and Ellie so important.
Yes.
Well, I think the hug was really important, because it's like she kind of turned beast mode. And then when she ran into him and she realized she's back in a safe place again, he gives her the hug and everything. And it's like she survived the worst thing that she could have come across, or the worst kind of person she could have come across, all on her own. So just, it really empowers her character. So it's going to build her up. But at the same time, it's like, it kind of has to take her back down a notch from that beast mode of is too far. Where is too far? Where's the line of, you just viciously killed this person, even though they might have deserved it. But it's she has to come back over here to be able to still be a helping person, a future person that still cares about the things that she cares about.
In addition to being a normal everyday kid, like she should be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's 14 years old and has to survive in this post-apocalyptic world. And
it's just it's probably the best example to show that no matter how old you are, sometimes if you live in an apocalyptic world, especially, and we're not, I think what I think makes especially not only just that scene, but the episode even more powerful is that it's one of these classic scenes where, yes, we deal with these monsters out there, the infected. Yes, they are the antagonists. They're the monsters. But in the end, they're not the real threat or the monsters. The real monsters are us, just normal, everyday human beings. Does no infections, maybe not even a mental issue. It's us. So I think that's what makes it even, again, more intense to show
the dark side.
not always the dark side. It's not always just these creatures out there. It's just normal everyday people like you guys and me.
The dark side of man.
Yep, you got it.
Mhm.
Kane comes down from berserker mode, manipulating the emotional roller coaster. You're absolutely right, Sarah. Spoil. Well, it is a spoiler alert, Sarah.
Joyce P. Wilbur played Michael Myers in Halloween 4 Press. Oh,
Hmm.
I believe I read that somewhere.
Wasn't that like 2 months ago though?
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, like and of course they're not only worried about that, they also had to worry about Fedra. Like they posed a threat to just about everyone they got like they were basically authoritarian, like kind of fascist organization, like new to basically put everybody under martial law inside their their quarantine zones, the quarantine, especially the one that Ellie and Joel were originated in when they met up with when he met up with Marlene, well, the Firefly group. The Fireflies are the guy we forgot to mention this earlier. The Firefly group that is fighting against Fedra, and they believe and the Fireflies believe that Ellie is the key to curing the cordyceps infection. And so Marlene, and again played by the same actress from the voicing the game, and like episode 9, where they finally bring her to that hospital. And oh wait, you know what? I should bring this up. Right before they go to that hospital where the Fireflies are at, Joel shows Ellie like the giraffes, and I thought that was pretty
was
crucial.
Ellie who saw him first.
Who saw him first? Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Ellie's son brought Joel to the giraffes. I feel like that was like a crucial moment because it was like a healing kind of experience for Ellie after what she had just been through, and just like gave her that sense of keep wanting to push forward.
It's like a sign of hope.
A sign of hope. Yes. Yes.
And it brought her back to her humanity. She got to see a live giraffe and feed it, and be that child person within her, still a child, still exploring, still learning what the world is really like, or what things are really like.
That was such a positive scene. Like
it was.
And what I was even more amazed by was you can see it, the giraffes, like they were, they were in the middle of the city, but you could tell that they were in a very safe spot where there was, other than the Fireflies, no other hostile groups, no infected, none of that. Sometimes you kind of help but wonder is that, if that, it just had like this paradise feel to it when they were feeding these giraffes. I just loved it. It was just perfect because when you see a lot of those scenes in such apocalyptic shows, usually it ends badly very quickly. But this was one of the few times where they didn't do that this time.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Oh, here. Sarah's right. I felt like giraffe makes anyone at any age turn to children.
I believe it. I believe it.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
It kind of reminded me of the Jurassic Park scene when they're feeding the brontosaurus.
Yeah, I remember.
The brontosauruses, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, check this out.
In August, the husband and I are going to where Friday the 13th was filmed at Camp Crystal Lake.
Isn't that when the next Friday the 13th is going to be? I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. No, it's in... Actually, I just looked. Oh, wait. The next one is until October. Perfect.
Oh, it's in October. Yeah, I was about to say, I thought I read it somewhere. It was in October. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. But, it is.
And of course, the final episode is also very powerful because fully shows that Joel is willing to do anything to protect Ellie, to protect his surrogate daughter. So finally, bringing Ellie to the Fireflies headquarters, which is exactly what they set out to do. And Marlene is there and explains to Joel that Ellie is got to undergo surgery to create a vaccine, which requires the removal of a portion of her brain, which will kill her. And so Ellie, Joel, not willing to lose another daughter, he goes into beast mode and starts taking down Fedra and destroy
Fireflies.
Fedra, sorry, Fireflies. But yeah, goes into beast mode, taking down any Firefly that stands between him and Ellie.
Yeah, again, another awesome moment where he just goes on this rampage that first off, he's able to fight and grab one of the guns, and then he just he just takes him down. Even like one guy who puts the gun down, he's still like, man, it's like you could tell at that point for Joel, there's no stopping him.
Nope. And when he finally gets to that operating room, the surgeon refuses to allow him to take her. Just headshots. Like, okay, you're gonna stand in my way.
I actually found that a little funny because he grabs like a scalpel or something. It's like, are you seriously thinking that taking this little tiny scalpel is going to defend yourself with a guy who basically has practically a rifle in his hand, like an AK-47 or whatever it was?
Yeah, just bring a knife to a gunfight.
Yeah, and see who's going to be the last one standing. Yeah, something tells me you're the one with the scalpel. You're probably going to be the one going down.
Yeah. But yeah, and so finally saving Ellie, and there was one part that I did notice. There was like this little Easter egg for those who are familiar with the games, more so with the second game. There was a character, didn't show the face, but was like running out down the hallway. It's like it's like very brief when this happens, running down the hallway, and you see what looks like a ponytail appearing, and I'm thinking, I know exactly who that is. Abby.
That's Abby.
I believe so. If you haven't played this, I don't want to spoil anything for you because I don't think you've played the second game, but Abby plays a crucial role in the Last of Us series.
Wait a minute. If I'm correct, because I have heard of some things. So just correct me if I'm wrong. I don't want to know too much when I eventually get to part 2. Doesn't Abby eventually become Ellie's girlfriend?
Nope.
Oh, then I'm thinking of somebody else then.
That's Riley, or was.
I don't know. I've never played either of the games, so I'm not sure. You
Well,
can
I don't
use
want to
your
spoil it
mouth
for
as a flamethrower. Check that out.
Yeah, Ghost Rider. Yep. So he could use that to obliterate anything that gets in his way. Nice. And so it's just like crazy, showing like how Joel was willing to go, all berserk beast mode just for Ellie. Like that was an amazing scene.
It makes me wonder how many times they must have had to shoot that scene. I really want to know.
Oh yeah, it would take all day to do with all those shots.
Yeah. That was awesome. And now I'm actually kind of curious to see how the game version is like.
Oh, here, Dinah. Dina. That's her name. Ellie's girlfriend.
And that's the other thing too. We forgot to bring this up early when we were just saying about like how diverse they went. And like you said about episode 3, the homosexual theme. Let's not forget too, Ellie's gay in the show.
Yes, and the game. Yeah.
Well, in the show and the game, she's also gay too.
Yeah, they throw in this diversity, like just like in the game, yeah. And that episode where she showed like Ellie's backstory, how she got infected, like that was also featured in the game, but in like the DLC, like it's like after they recommend you play this like after you've completed the story mode. It shows like Ellie with Riley, where while Ellie, this is before she met Joel, like just
right.
a few weeks before that. And where Ellie was in that Fedra school, and then Riley wanted them to join up and explore that mall that she found, which showed like all kinds of abandoned stores and games and like all these. They basically had.
I gotta bring this up. They
basically had the whole place to themselves. And
she was. Go on.
And Riley was basically showing Ellie the wonders of the mall because, again, she has never been outside of the quarantine zone, and it just felt weird seeing stores abandoned. They had showed like I think a Panda Express at one point. They showed Popeye.
A&W I think was there too.
Yeah, if only they had A&Ws around. Like why? I want to write to Woodfield Mall asking them why did they get rid of A&W? It was such a great place.
Yeah, I mean, I know they still exist now. We just don't have them in the Chicago area. I don't even think we even have them at all in the entire state of Illinois because when I go on my road trips with Tom, I mean, even when we get, I've gone on several trips with Tom. I've been up and down the state, and I have never seen one. So I don't think we even have them at all in Illinois.
Yeah, we have them in California.
You have them in California. See, yeah, you can find them in other states, but for some reason, Illinois is among. Brett says they have one. He lives in nearby Indiana, so I wouldn't be okay. So there's one in Indiana. Oh, there's probably more of them, but no, we don't have them at all. Oh yes, Brad. Now you're talking. Culver's is awesome.
Yeah, we got tons of Culvers.
Yeah, we used to never have that many, but now we do. But Culver's is awesome.
I'm not sure if Culver's is in that many places in America. I think it's like more of a Midwestern thing.
It started in Wisconsin. I know that. That's another reason why I think we have a lot of them. But I got to say this, though, going back to the show, because now I'll never – that whole escalator scene when Ellie was running and the song and the classic 80s song Take On Me by Aha. It's like ever since I watched, I'm thinking I am never going to be able to look or listen to that same song or anything associated with it ever again. All I'm just going to think now is Ellie running up the escalators.
There you go. Now you guys are just showing.
Yeah, I like all the 80s retro that they do throughout. And even older songs, like when they were with Frank. I think in the truck, they would play a lot of like cassettes.
Yeah, like
his truck.
That was cool, like playing old style stuff instead of like putting an iPhone or something on. But I also loved with even the first episode, like they played a song by Depeche Mode, Never Let Me Down, which I've been addicted to that song now, by the way. Damn it. That's such a good song, but it's from the 80s.
Oh, yeah. And you brought up from when they had Frank's tapes and stuff, right? Where Ellie showed it, like said, "Oh, does this make you nostalgic?" So there were a few funny moments in that car scene. Oh, especially where Ellie was like pulling out a magazine and making Joel think that she was.
It was what, like a pornographic magazine that she found?
Yeah, she was making Joel think it was like a porno mag or something.
He's like, "No, that's not for kids."
And she's like, "Why are these pages stuck together?" I'm like, "Oh my god."
Oh god. It was just like I will say this as a more serious way. It was really, for the most part, one of the very few comedic moments of the show, because this show really didn't want to go to the comedic side. They very rarely did. That was one of those very few scenes where it was actually funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just makes me think of those moments where you're trying to protect.
Don, wait, hang on, Jill. We can't hear you.
Jill?
I mean, we could see you, but we can't hear you though.
Uh-oh.
Hold on. Here, let me take you out first, and I'll take you back in.
Okay.
All right, you're back.
We can't hear you.
Okay, so what you'll have to do is like before. You're gonna have to log off and then come back in.
Yeah, we'll see if that works.
Yeah, well, it happened before where she lost her sound, then she comes back in because they have like a reset of some sort. I guess by taking that person in and out yourself, it doesn't really work. They have to literally log off themselves and then come back in.
Yeah. Oh, here. Listen, I gotta go. Tired. See you guys later, assuming we stay alive. Yes. Hopefully no cordyceps virus. Hopefully.
Yeah. Good night, DJ.
Or fungus or whatever.
This is actually before my time. What?
Yeah, I would say the same thing about Metallica. I love Metallica, but it's still before my time.
Oh my god, I heard about this. You heard about this, right, Don?
Yes. I'm thrilled.
Okay, here she goes. All right, we see you.
Can you hear me?
Yep, yes. There we go.
Yay.
All right. So what were you trying to say?
I don't remember. What scene were we talking about?
Oh, when we were talking about like the comedic moments of the show.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was saying Ellie has a sarcasm a lot. Like she loves the joke book. She was carrying her, and she would tell Joel jokes in the middle of the night, and eventually she broke through his tough exterior because he would kind of giggle and laugh. Like that is like the silliest joke.
It's the first time you really see him smile in the post-apocalyptic world.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally. And speaking of post-apocalyptic world, there's like one major flaw that I noticed as far as with Joel and Ellie with vehicles. All the gasoline that they use is like gotta be like super old right now because gasoline is only good for like a few months as far as I know. Like if it's been 20 years, then there's no way that gasoline is usable.
We're obviously getting it from somewhere where it's still good.
Yeah. So this place, yeah, the whole place is it's pretty much gonna be like Mad Max. So that's what it should be.
So let's answer this question quickly. So, what do you think of the news of Jenna Ortega playing Winona Ryder's daughter in Beetlejuice 2?
Mhm.
That is seriously awesome that they're going to
That's
have
great.
Jenna.
Mhm.
Because, Don, I didn't even tell you, Adam and I were on the phone one night. He told me about it was literally after when I said about like the way how like Wednesday sometimes dressed up with the stripes that she had that kind of resembled like Beetlejuice's suit. And
Right.
that's when Adam said, well, if you didn't know this, Nick, supposedly they're going to try to get Jenna Ortega for Beetlejuice too. I think makes so much sense.
Oh yeah, I'm on board for that. I've like with her in Wednesday and the new Scream movies. She's phenomenal.
You still need to see the new Scream movies. Speaking of which,
You do.
You do. What about I do? What about you?
Yeah, I know. I need to as well.
You got the Last of Us script, Ghostwriter?
Huh.
He probably looked it up online.
I think
sure.
that she'll do really good playing in
yeah.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah. Oh wait, let me just go back to this one quick. Greg, no. Excuse me, Brad. No, Greg's not doing a show tonight. He'll be back later this week.
Yeah, for sure. And suspension of disbelief. Oh, from the fuel comment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's going to be interesting to check out.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, but like just thinking about like apocalypses, it's just like I really wonder what the government would do in real life if we actually did get hit with like a zombie virus or a cordyceps fungus or whatever. I mean, it's like who would even be able to sleep with that going on?
Well, look at episode 2 when they were asking the expert in Indonesia, because that's when they were showing that they discovered it there prior to the outbreak, and just finding the bodies from the factory that had the cordyceps, and they bring her in, the expert or the scientist, and she's like, it's not supposed to exist in human nature, like our condition isn't set up for that, but it is, because he has proof of it with the body, right. And it's like it just shows you that, I thought that was like the scariest part, because it's like you're not supposed to find it in the human body, but she's like, wait a minute, what do you mean you have it on a human specimen? Like,
right.
Yeah. And like I've actually researched years ago when I first played The Last of Us, like way back in 2013. Scientists actually looked into that, and they've actually stated that it's extremely, extremely unlikely for cordyceps to actually infect humans in real life, because for one thing, our body temperatures are way too high, and they're used to more humid environments. So yeah, like there's about no chance of it ever infecting people.
Yeah, they're just saying that the environment was warming up. So somehow, it's not supposed to stay in a condition that's warmer than 94 degrees, and our body's always like 97, 98 degrees. Yeah, so technically it shouldn't survive in our bodies. So I'm not too sure on how they were forming the science for the show, but it's like, when they're asking her, like, well, what are we supposed to do? Like, how are we supposed to vaccinate people? And she's like, bomb everyone, yeah. You may as well destroy the city. Just destroy the city.
Leave no survivors.
No.
Yeah.
Man, that's bad.
Yeah. Have here the solution. They're basically, her solution is have Skynet do what they are wanting to do in Western Terminator. Just bomb every city.
I always just basically joke, when the apocalypse ever happened, I would always say it would probably start in 2046 on March 21st. At 2:03 p.m.
Very specific.
Here. I got one. Wait, I got one. You want to know when the apocalypse starts? It starts in 3, 2, 1.
Well, with Ghostwriter, though, with him outside, everyone will be like scared doing chaos. Except him. Taking bets. Bet. I didn't even think of that.
Okay.
Let me look up Nostradamus's prophecies first.
Well, mankind. For thousands of years, mankind has predicted the end of the world. Always been wrong. Always. Twice they have been wrong in my life. They thought it was going to end in the year 2000. Wrong. Because Y2K. They thought it was going to end in the year 2012 because of the Mayan calendar ending. Nope. Still here.
It was just supposed to be a reset. Just start the new calendar.
Yeah. No, here's what they were doing when the calendar ends. They take down the old calendar and put up a new one.
Exactly.
Yeah, we were just like waiting for a big bang to explode in space or something. I don't know.
Right. I mean, what is supposedly what's the next year that supposedly the world's gonna end? Do you guys know even, or
2025? That's
2025? Okay, well, that, or you know what? If that was actually going to be like the next supposed end of the world date, the fact if they were saying if it was 2025 already tells me that predicting the end of the world for those previous the 2 years that you mentioned, Don, probably isn't even the worst years that they have chosen so far.
Right.
Aren't five planets aligning? Yeah, I thought I heard something about.
Yeah, tonight. We missed it. It was I think we missed it. It was a couple hours ago.
It would be what?
Oh,
Earth, Mars. Well, wait, which planets would they? Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, or Neptune. Which planets would have been aligning?
Yeah, I didn't even know this was happening today.
Oh, this has been going on for the last couple nights, but it may have already passed. You know what? Okay, I just found it. Apparently they're still aligned now, but I don't think we could see them from our area at least. And those planets are you see 5 planets: Venus, Uranus, Jupiter, Mercury, and Mars.
Yeah.
Though isn't that technically 6? Wouldn't that be technically 6 planets? Wouldn't that, because that would include Earth, right?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, I understand you could see 5 planets aligned, but if we could see them, wouldn't Earth be part of that and line up too?
Yeah. And what was I going to say? Oh yeah, let's talk about how the show, how the season, that episode ended.
Yes.
So Ellie wakes up from being unconscious after drugs from the surgery in the back of Joel's car. They're driving away. Joel basically lied to Ellie, saying that there were others who were like you, immune, but they quit looking for a cure. So fireflies are just killing everyone. Yes, and Marlene had confronted Joel as he was getting Ellie out of there, but Joel got the upper hand on Marlene, and Marlene begs for her life, but then Joel just coldly just says, "You would just come after her."
Just come after her.
Shoots her in the head, and that's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it was her way of testing him to see if he would tell her the truth. So it was kind of like she knew what, like she had to figure out, is he going to be truthful with me from now on? Or is he just going to have this lie and make me believe it to appease, his reasoning for why he did what he did? And she just really just wanted to know the truth. And so when she asked him that, and she knew from looking at his face and just like his answer, she knew he was lying. So she just had to base it off of that. Like, okay, this is how it's going to be from now on. I see.
It's basically, and I remember seeing this in the Inside the Episode segment where you could tell, yes, you could tell that she knows he's lying, but she just has to kind of put it out for herself. Otherwise, it's just it's just like that same thing when it comes to those kind of situations. If you keep dragging on with it, it's just not good for you. So she knew the best thing she could do was, even though she knew he was lying, she had to put it out of it and just accept it regardless.
Yeah, that's right. And this does play. I'm sorry, I keep getting. Sorry, more spam. My phone was going off. Sorry, my phone was going off. I was getting more spam.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I keep deleting them and marking them as junk, but they just can't take the hint. Yeah, so I swear, if I get a call from those guys again, I've been getting calls from these scammers. Yeah, like I'm gonna put an air horn to the phone next time.
Have you been blocking them each time they call you, Don?
Oh yeah, they just find new ways.
How many times have they been calling you, just out of curiosity?
Like 3-4 times a week.
Oh my God. That's even more
I
than
know.
I had one just yesterday. But that's the only one I've gotten so far.
Yeah, well, like I said, next time air horn. It's like that's the only thing they're ever gonna understand. Anyway, so yeah, this series has been just phenomenal, and this show basically did what was believed to be impossible, successfully adapting video game to film. Like there have been like a long list of examples of where it didn't work. Like the first one, which was mentioned earlier, Super Mario Brothers, the movie from 1993, which it was considered. I mean, I'm not talking about whether I like the film or not. I'm talking about how it did not do great financially. It made less than half its money back, and Nintendo wouldn't do anything allow any live action films for years and years and years because of that film. And then, but there were some exceptions, like Mortal Kombat to some degree. You know, like the 95 version was just all right for what it was at the time, but the second one was horrible. Mortal Kombat Annihilation. But the new one, that was released on HBO, the new one that came out about over a year ago, that one was great. So let's see.
What about Doom?
Doom. There's that.
It was just
Resident
okay.
Evil.
I was gonna say Resident Evil.
The first one was all right. The rest of them just felt like Paul W.S. Anderson was just making those movies for himself, like Resident Evil fan fiction. Like he stated in an interview, he stated in an interview that he enjoys watching his own movies. I was thinking, so who'd you make Resident Evil the franchise for? Was it for everyone, for fans who love the games, or was it just for yourself?
You know, another series that is going to be getting another game that's going to be getting its own television series, and this is one, like I said, at some point we'll have to talk on the show at some point, Don, and this is a game I've still been telling you need to play, damn it, and that's Bendy and the Ink Machine. They want to make a television show out of it.
Nice.
So, if you didn't, I don't know if you ever heard of Bendy and the Ink Machine before, Joe, but it's a creepy game. It's not violent, but I would call it more one of those nostalgia games because it revolves around cartoons of the 1920s and 30s.
Right. Oh, here. Sarah's saying, I hope it opens the door for great dramatic game movies. Yeah, because for the past few years, they have been improving. Like, I like the new Lara Croft with Alicia Vikander. I like that one. Yeah. What else? There was, let's see, I'm missing one here. I know it's World of Warcraft was all right. So, yeah. So now this, demonstrates that, making a great video game movie or just adapting it to any kind of film, whether it's a movie or a show, it's tough, but it's not impossible. The Last of Us has proven that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you put something on? Oh, sorry.
Do you think they'll make a Last of Us movie as well as the show?
They did. Sure. They did a couple years ago. They actually, before even the television series was made, they wanted to make a theatrical film. Just a movie based on the game, but I guess the ideas never materialized. I'm not exactly sure. Oh my god! Whoa!
I know, right?
Show yours first, and I'll show you mine. That is seriously awesome. Wow! You're right. Here, let me put on solo so you get a better view. Hang on, put it back up, Don.
Assassin's Creed, yeah, Sarah.
Okay, that is really cool.
That is legit.
All right. And then here, yeah, and this one, here's mine.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
thanks, Lauren. That's amazing.
Right. Send me copies, you guys.
I'm surprised Lauren didn't make one for you, Jill. Lauren, did you make one for Jill?
I haven't checked my Facebook because I've been on StreamYard. Sorry, I'll get to it.
I got you covered. I'll just check your profile.
I will say this. The one thing that made the whole situation worse for video game movies, just one name, Uwe Ball.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, that's because. Oh wait, there's a reason. She's not friends with you on Facebook, but now she friend requests you.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so she'll probably be able to make a picture like that for you.
Okay. They can't message me then. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, because they had to take one of the pic. She took.
Oh, I see.
That's how she was able to make those photos. Sorry, what were you saying, Don?
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah, did you hear what I said before, Nick? Like the one thing that brought video game movies to an all-time low was just one name, Uwe Ball.
Have we talked? I've heard
Just
that name, but
briefly.
have we? I was going to say, have we talked about it before? I couldn't remember.
German filmmaker. He's known for making mostly he's made bad video game movies such as House of the Dead, Blood Rain, and Alone in the Dark.
Oh no! Well, I know of Alone in the Dark. I remember when that movie came out. Heard that was terrible.
That was horrible. All just about everything he makes is horrible.
Wasn't there like also an Alone in the Dark film from the early '80s? But I don't even think that was based on a video game at all.
No, it wasn't. I know exactly what you're talking about, and no, it wasn't.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Sarah said I played the Alone in the Dark game. Yeah, that's from like just before Resident Evil was even around. Yeah, like Alone in the Dark. The movie is nothing like the game. Yeah,
I think actually I might have the game. I'm checking my Steam account right now. I could. Do I have it? Oh wait, no, I don't. I have a game that's called Alone, but it's not Alone in the Dark though. It's literally it's just like Alone with a question mark. But now that actually makes me curious, wondering if they have the. Oh wait. Wait a minute. When did this come out, Don? What year did the game come out?
that was like the early '90s. Like it was way back. It was like 1992 or something.
They have it. They have it right here. It's actually a reimagination, kind of like a remake, like they've done with Last of Us. But they have it. Oh, very much like The Last of Us. It's coming soon. It's not available yet, but you could. I think you could pre-purchase it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's on Steam.
Oh, here. I just found the movie. I remember this.
It's not available yet.
Here. I found the movie. It was, I remember Christian Slater, Tara Reid, and Stephen Dorff were in it, released in 2005. It has let me pull up the page. Oh, yeah. 2.4 out of 10 stars on IMDb. So, in other words, avoid this one.
Don, I got to run upstairs quickly. I'll be back in just a minute. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so
when they set for like season 2, have they talked? I haven't been checking on it.
I don't think they've released information on when they're gonna have that out just yet. And I'm wondering if they're going to create a whole new storyline that'll lead to the events of The Last of Us Part 2, the game, or are they just gonna jump straight to The Last of Us Part 2 storyline? Yeah, I'm wondering. That's what I'm wondering. Because if they're going to show something original, if they're going to introduce an original storyline leading to that, I'm just wondering how they're going to do that. That's not going to be an easy task. Yeah, because Nick, he really needs to experience the games. I know how much he loves horror games, and I'm like, The Last of Us is Rappy Rally, and but so far. I love what I'm seeing so far as far with what they've adapted to the show. It's like for the most part, it's not for the most part, it's absolutely true to the game, but they did change a few things around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But though that ending was just like in the game. And let's see. Oh yeah, one of the ways that they made it different from Ellie killing off David from the game, Joel actually did come across her inside the burning building in the game, while she was in the process of hacking away at David, even after he was dead. She grabbed the hold. He grabbed the hold of her and stopped her from, basically saying, "Hey, he's dead. It's okay."
Mm-hmm. And they changed it just a little bit, right? From
Oh yeah, they did tweak things. They wanted to be just like in the game, but not completely. They wanted to change a few things around to surprise us. So I gotta say that they did a phenomenal job with that. Pendant store or pendant stare.
Pendant.
Okay, pendant stare. I'm sorry, Chris Ritter. I don't know what you're talking about. I wonder what Nick is getting.
Does he have a show and tell?
Yeah, I was about to say, what are you trying to start? Yeah, I'm just I'm thinking, Nick, what are you trying to start here, man?
Yeah, I'm rewatching The Last of Us, the entire season again, just because, like how when you watch it, when you wait for it per week, you kind of, there's always a delay. So when the whole season's done, then you can just play it on continuously, however long you want or however long you can stand for it, versus,
That's right.
having to wait per week.
Yeah, that's true. Oh man, I'm excited for what's next in store, because I know that somewhere down the road they're gonna have Abby in from The Last of Us Part 2 on the show. And I'm not gonna
Yeah,
reveal
so
anything.
go ahead.
Yeah, I was about to say I'm not gonna reveal anything, but things do get darker as the story goes on.
Yeah, like how you said on that one episode, is it number 8, when there's show you think that they show her like a little tiny bit, like a little peep of her maybe. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna look for that, like to see if I could catch things that I didn't catch the first time around when I watched the second time around.
Yeah, right. Because I noticed that hallway sequence when Joel was was about to shoot another soldier, but then I noticed another character running by and had that braid. I'm thinking only one character I know from the game has a braid like that, and it's I'm thinking Abby.
Okay, yeah, you know what? Now that I'm recalling it, I'm like, yeah, didn't he hesitate at one point because he was like, wait, and then he like kind of jumped back a little bit, like he thought something, but then he wasn't sure. It made him stop.
Whoever this was wanted to get out of the way of that line of fire, and I'm just thinking, oh man, hey Nick,
what's up?
Yeah, what were you going to get something or?
I just had to get some water quickly.
Oh, I got you. Okay, well, wait here.
I
look into this. I look into the souls of the guilty. It's my greatest
weapon. Wow. Oh, jeez. Someone just messaged me a whole bunch of times. Oh, it was Lauren. Hang on 1 second. Jill, this is something for you. Hang on 1 second.
Okay.
Message me.
Okay, let's see it.
You know what? No, I'll message you and then you can show it on camera.
Okay.
Building anticipation. Sorry.
Yeah, we're talking about what we think on season 2, if it's gonna follow or if it's gonna be fiction. Like, are they gonna recreate something, a different storyline?
Yeah, because I was about to say, creating a whole new storyline that leads to the events of what happened in The Last of Us Part 2, the game. That's not going to be a simple task.
Jill, I just sent it to you.
Oh, that's cool. I like it. Okay, you can show it.
Okay, because you're using your computer, right?
Well, yeah, but I can't. I don't know how to do the present stuff and all that stuff.
One of these days, I'll show you how it works. It's
like
not
if
as bad as it looks.
I don't want to pull a Nick and just shut off everything.
Just like that last episode, I actually shut off the entire show
last week.
Yes,
I'm still laughing about that. Speaking of which, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I really wish we had that recorded because that would have been a great blooper scene.
It happens.
All right, so here's Jill's picture that I'm going to show for. Check this out.
Oh, nice.
That's cool.
Wow. That is just
that'll be my new profile default.
Yeah. Well, I already sent it to you, so you got a copy of it now.
Yeah, thank you, Lauren.
Yeah, good job, Lauren. Okay, well, I think we're gonna end this one here. Yeah, The Last of Us. This show went above and beyond. This was absolutely amazing. The acting, the action, the way it just stays true to the story of the game was just incredible.
There is one final thing I forgot to mention about this. Here's your response, Jill. There's one other thing I forgot just before we get off, and this is actually kind of important to think about. But the fact that we were also talking earlier of Fedra and the Fireflies. You know, it's again, this is another one of those scenes where, as I kind of put it, because it's like we're kind of expected to believe that Fedra is the one that's doing the smart thing and the Fireflies are the bad guys. It's really kind of hard to tell. Almost, it's like it's really one of those moments where you don't know who's right and you don't know who's wrong and you don't know who's actually being the smart one and above the other. That's what kind of carries the show out. It's not even just, again, you know, like with revolving around Joel and Ellie. In other words, you really don't know. I mean, it's like the first episode or so, you really don't know exactly who really is the predator and who's the prey, because there's like, it's like that. It's like you're kind of on your own figuring out whose side is the true side you need to be on.
Yeah.
Or what about the group? His brother, how he went and found him in that compound. Yeah. Like, these seem to be like really good people too. So I wonder if we're gonna see a lot more of that.
Because they were heading back after that whole issue with the hospital.
Oh yeah,
they knew that was the only place they were going to be able to survive. You know, that was the place where people are kind of back to everyday life. There's no arguments, there's no rivalries, there's no strict rules or regulations, no violence. And of course, too, if you remember that episode too, you even saw a moment where people were celebrating Christmas. So like, you were seeing kind of, for the first time ever, you were seeing a sense of normalcy, like what people were supposed to be like in modern day society. So to them, that's probably their only way of really surviving and kind of having their lives back together. I mean, it may not be exactly what they were hoping for, but at least they were living with they would be living with a group of people who they know they can trust. They know they would never turn their backs, and they know they wouldn't be overpowering or violent towards anyone except for, of course, any strangers. That may be bad news. So also that could be their shelter, their defense mechanism.
Oh yeah, totally. It seemed like they just made that look like the ideal society to be part of. So that's the only side that's worth being on.
Yep.
I'm wondering if they're gonna do like a whole Game of Thrones with the kingdoms, you know, like that Colorado area is gonna be like its own kingdom, that cult's gonna be their own kingdom. You know, Fedra's their own, Fireflies are their own, and then they all kind of like rival against each other. I don't know. Or can they have peace?
Yeah. Well, in the area that they're in Wyoming, not Colorado.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know if they're going to head in that direction, but we'll see.
I guess only time will tell.
Yeah. You three are amazing. I have work early tomorrow. I will watch the rest of this live right after work. Stay awesome. Thank you, Lauren.
We're actually about to be ending this in just another minute or so, Lawrence. So we're actually going to be calling it a night ourselves soon too.
Yes, for sure. Man, I had so much fun talking about this one. So yeah, now we just got to figure out what we're going to talk about next week. So,
you know, I would have said originally, there's just still so much to talk about Last of Us. So guess what? You do know that probably in the future, we're definitely going to have to do a part 2 on Last of Us, not especially once season 2 comes out.
Oh yeah, no doubt. You better believe that when season 2 comes out, every single week I'm watching the new episode every week.
That's what I did with season 1. I'll be doing it. And I think I already told you this, Don. My mom's finally starting to watch The Last of Us.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I want to get more people on board to watch it so we could talk about it more.
Yeah,
I mean,
you know, we should have asked in the things chat to see if anybody else had watched the show. We could have brought more of the show hosts on. That would be a real conversation.
Oh yeah.
Next time.
Didn't even think of that.
Yeah, next time let's bring on more hosts. Yeah, that's what I've been telling you. We need to start bringing more other hosts on here.
It didn't even cross my mind, but also, well, not to kind of, honestly, and I was going to call you this earlier, Don, but unfortunately, earlier today, I did have another one of my headaches. So, which I knew where it was. I had another one of my headaches. Oh, you didn't hear it?
Oh.
Yeah, I had one of my headaches again today, but this time I knew where it was coming from. This time it actually came from work. Make a long story short, this was so strange. There was this like a sulfurous smell that was going on in the store. Like some people could smell it, like myself, others couldn't. I really don't know how to really describe it. It almost smelled like it was like a tar-like smell where we had no
that's-
idea where that was coming from. It just smelled like tar. And
that is really strange.
it's really strange. I knew it was not gasoline. It was something else.
Demonic.
What's that?
It's a demon.
Demon.
Yep.
That's what Zach Bagans would say.
Sulfur.
Nick's been the premise of a demon.
Just do an exorcism in your store. You'll be fine.
Yes.
No, as I was working the hour.
I'm calling the Vatican right now.
No, but because I was in this building, you know, obviously working. It was me. Yeah, right, Ghost Rider. Why did I think of that before?
He's not he's not a demon.
He's Ghost Rider.
So, I know he's not a demon.
But yeah, no, I think it was because of the stench I was breathing it in. You know, obviously the longer I stayed, the worse it got. And I got one of those headaches that it affected the right side of my head. So when I got home, I was in pain. I was getting worried because I really didn't want to have to reschedule, you know, call you and have to reschedule this show. But I took some ibuprofen. I took a nap. And once I woke up, it was finally gone. So that told me immediately, I'm thinking, good. I don't have to call Don this time to let him know that we got to reschedule because it was gone before. It was long gone before we even went on live. So that was, it was bad earlier today and annoying, but at least it dissipated.
That's good. Great.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So
Might need to break out the holy water and holy salt.
I was hunting something. Yep.
Hmm.
There was someone very bad in the store. So that's he was.
Ghost Rider we'll talk about that later.
Get back to us later on that, man.
Yeah.
So I guess this will be it for this episode of Fear Fans. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. Subscribe to my channel, the Nick's channel, Things Network, and some of our other associates like Tom's World. Subscribe to him as well.
This is Tom's World, yeah. Pickle Tom, where the hell was he tonight?
Yeah, I was about to say. I was wondering when was he going to tune in?
He did a show last night with Darren Buss on BB3 TV, and I was only able to watch a little bit of it because I was actually really tired last night. But they were actually talking about paranormal stuff, and I just jokingly asked Tom, saying, "So Tom, what was the closest you ever? What was the closest spiritual encounter you ever had with a pickle?" And he got back to me. He's like, "Look, the only spiritual connection I've had with a pickle is Pickle Nick." And then he started talking like Rick again. For Friday.
Next Tuesday, right?
Yeah, we're gonna do next Tuesday because again, with the shows the other shows I got to do during this week, that's gonna be a little bit too much for me. So we'll be back next Tuesday. And what's the topic for next? Go on, Don. Go on.
So I was about to say yes. We're back on Tuesdays again. So for next topic, we're still working on that. We have a few ideas. I will definitely announce it when I can, as soon as a final decision has been made. So,
and also one other thing too, when we do the show next Tuesday, we can only do it next Tuesday, especially because not this Friday, but next Friday is Good Friday. So something tells me already that we're not going to be able to do it next Friday, especially. So,
and I'll be at Disneyland next Friday.
Yeah, Disneyland. How's that for Good Friday?
There you go. Nice.
I did have an announcement. I was just going to say I was let everyone know on the announcements on the other shows that's coming up this week. So for tomorrow with Nick Files, I was originally supposed to do this during the weekend, but unfortunately I was unable to because of my schedule. We're going to continue. I know originally I said I was going to get back to doing Athens, Ohio for Nick Files tomorrow, but I had to push that back one final week because I got to wrap up and finish part 2 of Pennhurst State School and Hospital, which if you guys haven't seen that one, that's actually, I have to admit, that's kind of considered one of my most hard to watch shows because of how graphic it kind of is, especially the history involved. But it's a good story. It's a good location as far as the history. It just, I even put a disclaimer saying viewer discretion is advised if you want to see part 1 and 2. And Supernatural talk on the crime show on Thursday. We're going to be with me, Lois, and Rosie. We're going to be talking about the Cleveland torso murderer. It was actually a real serial killer that terrorized Cleveland and the eastern sides of Ohio during the 1920s, 30s, and early 40s. And then Supernatural talk. I don't think they had anybody. I don't think we have anyone scheduled. I think it's just going to be open mic if I'm correct. And then Friday on the Frighteners. Oh man, I don't even know what they're going to, because I wasn't on Frighteners last Friday because Lois wanted me to take a break. So I don't know what's going on for Frighteners this Friday, but I guess we'll see it. Guess we'll just have to see as the days move forward. So, but that's all I got to say.
And I think there's some live investigations on Saturday. I think that's what Gray's going to be doing. So He wasn't on tonight because he had some things come through on Sunday session. But
you're right. I do remember seeing that Greg, he's got some investigation schedule. I don't know if it's not the one at Waverly, right? With Denise and Ernie.
I'm not sure where the live's going to be for Saturday, so I'm sure he'll keep us posted.
Yeah, because I'm interested in checking it out, and in fact, probably within a few weeks, I'm going to try to schedule a few investigations too to have put live. So, because I'm getting out more often, like I did with Ava that night. We're going to try to do more of that. Of course, we got to wait till after Easter. So, as I would probably picture it, probably about a week or so, the weeks after Easter, we're going to definitely be getting out more often. So, there will be more live investigations coming up. For the network over the next coming weeks. So
you guys will have to broadcast your live investigation when you do one.
I tried actually on Friday, but there was only one problem. It was because when I was out with Ava, well, first off, I didn't know if there was any shows running, but at the same, because my focus is all up in Kenosha, but also I have this special. It's right here actually. So I recently got this back in August. I actually was supposed to take this with me to Mansfield, Ohio with me, the Mansfield Reformatory. This looks kind of ridiculous. Here, I'll just do a quick solo layout so you guys can see what this is. It looks relatively ridiculous, but what it is that you put it over. It's like a strap, and you wrap it around, and this part connects to your chest area, and you have the camera right here. So that way, when you have it holding, you don't have to hold your phone for it. So that gives me a chance to, have more equipment, use more equipment. Only problem was when I brought this with me to Wisconsin, the clamp piece somehow fell off and it fell on the street. I was in just such a hurry that I didn't even hear it fall. It was only when a neighbor discovered on the street that he brought it back to my house. So I wasn't able to film or go, because not to mention when we were up in Wisconsin, it was cold and I had no gloves with me, so I couldn't hold my phone. So we weren't able to film live as I was originally hoping so, but it's now firmly attached. So that way I'll have it ready for next time. In case anyone wants to know what this is called, this is basically called, from what I've seen on Amazon and eBay, in case anybody wants to get one of these, they're called a chest mount gooseneck. It's not really that expensive at all. It's just this costs about $25-$30. So not terribly expensive to get in case you ever want to get one of these. And the way how you just put it on is really simple. You just put it on like this, and there's a belt, like a seatbelt almost. And there you go. Yeah, you're good to go then. So it's pretty plain and simple.
All right.
So, we'll do more now with the clamp. With the clamp back on, we'll definitely be doing more lives in the next coming weeks.
All right. Oh, and I decided one of the possibilities for next week for FearFans. Jill, have you seen Wednesday yet? Like all the episodes?
Well, I have the season. I haven't seen the whole season, so I can.
What episode are you up to?
3.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Then we'll just wait on that one because I don't
Okay.
want to pressure you into like watching every single one of them before Tuesday.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that to you. Let's
Sarah's
see.
coming up with some ideas. Alien, that's a good one.
Yeah, it is a great one.
Predator,
Alien and Predator. Okay, because
Mars Attacks.
I wanted to see if we could like start covering Friday the 13th movies again. There was one episode we did cover the whole franchise, but now I feel like we should just cover one movie at a time.
Mm-hmm.
You know who's probably going to join that one, right? I'm sure
Tom.
Emily wouldn't. Who?
Tom.
Well, I wasn't going to say. I was going to say. I mean, there's Tom, but I was also originally going to say Emily.
Bring them both.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
Planetary alignment could do UFO horror. That's interesting.
Yeah. Maybe we should start next week, Friday the 13th.
Well, wait. What about with Easter coming up?
Yeah, with Easter, I know. Like, there's not that many good Easter movies out, and like,
well, like we're gonna watch this weekend. Why not April Fool's Day?
Have you seen April Fool's Day, Jill?
Oh yeah, April.
Oh, yeah.
The one from the 80s, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. Well, we'll do that. We'll go with that.
Even though it's April Fool's Day, that's pretty much the closest we could really do like an Easter episode.
Pretty much. Yeah.
It'll take place in April, though.
Yeah. Okay. We'll go with that. Yeah. Okay. Next week, April Fool's Day. Let's
All right, then.
I'm excited for that. All right. So hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Fear Fans podcast. Please subscribe to my channel, to Nick's channel, to the Things Network, and to our associates. To the top. This is Tom's World. Yeah, we'll be seeing you next week. Enjoy the rest of your week, everybody. Take care.
Bye. Thank you.